Hey, Matt from MT. This video is going to attempt to be a 5-minute overview of the Target Manager system. The Target Manager system is fairly unique in that it is only available to UK resellers because it's so tightly tied into the SAP system and the orders being raised on the SAP system. From a reseller's point of view, they get to see targets on a screen much like this, where they're shown their target spend and the rebate they will receive if they hit that target. They can have multiple targets per year. They can look at years targets from previous years. They can see the orders that have been raised that help them qualify to hit that rebate level or that target level rather. Um, from a member of staff's point of view, this screen, the Target Manager, is a list of all of the targets that have been established for the current year. You'll see the year at the top. This is demo data, so we don't have any 2024 showing at the moment. But when it comes to creating a new year's worth of targets, we highly encourage you to use this button here, Create Next Year. And what that will do is it will take a blank copy of all of the targets for the current year and create them afresh for the coming year, ready to be approved and sent out to the customers themselves. Saves a huge amount of work. If you want to start giving targets to a new customer that isn't in this list, as it says here, you need to use the Customer Manager to do that. And let me just show you what that would look like very briefly. You would click on Customer Manager. You would find the um, new customer in question, reseller, in question, let's pick this one, and you would say enroll in targets. At that point, when you come back to this screen, they will be in this list and you can create their first rebate. It's quite common for there to be multiple targets per customer. So as you can see here, the AVMI Kinley have 2 set up. There might even be a couple with 3 IDNS. I think they used to have 3. Anyway, you can have multiple targets. There's 3 for Roche. You can have multiple targets per customer per year, and they can all be working in conjunction with each other, or they can maybe target different product categories. The specifics are what we're going to cover next. So once you've got a target set up, you can modify it and maintain it by clicking on the target here. Now this screen is complicated. It's not unnecessarily complicated. It's because targets were so flexible, the specific terms, what qualified for the target, what qualified for the rebate, etc. over the years that we've had to kind of extend this and expand it and come up with lots of yes, well, if type scenarios. But in brief, as an overview, bearing in mind we're already 3 minutes into this, at the top of this screen, you get to pick which of their targets you are working on. So this is the 3 targets that are for Roche. Pick which one you need to work with, or add a brand new one, a 4th one, by clicking the top option. A lot of these details, they just have a standard setting. So the start month of this target almost always will be all year. You generally wouldn't want a target that starts part way into the year. There are multiple calculations appropriate for working out a target spend. There's a bit of text to discuss each one here. You get to name it and give it a description. Both of those are shown to the customer to help them distinguish their rebates apart, so their targets apart. You get to pick who you would like to approve the target. When it's first set up, there's a 2-step process. First of all, it has to be approved internally, and that note says that John Ginty approved it on 9th of Feb. At that point, it's sent to the customer for approval, and you can see that Stafford Lund approved it on the 9th of March. Only once it's been approved internally and externally does it become an active target. This option is quite interesting. Generally speaking, we only show the orders that helped them qualify to reach a target. We don't show them the orders that didn't qualify, just because that tends to raise questions over why didn't such and such an order count. But you can tick that box for certain customers to make all transactions show, and that's when they're looking at the orders through that option there. This is the sort of main thrust of setting up a target, whether they have a flat rebate, whether that rebate improves based on if they hit certain stretch goals. So typically you would see 2% flat, but maybe 3% at 250,000, 4% at 500,000, that kind of thing. Some product groups obviously had much thinner margins than others, and you might want to exclude the product groups with a very small margin from counting towards the rebate. And that's what this section is for here. You tick the SAP product groups or product categories that you don't want to count towards the rebate, but they do all count towards the target, as it says there. Um, Down here, you've got the ability to say this target is only for NEC products or excludes NEC products. You can go either way with that. You can see this particular one, it says that this doesn't include NEC. So this particular target, for some reason, we've pulled NEC products from it. And it has to be an exact match for the manufacturer in SAP. And then if it's an exact match, it will be pulled from that target and the rebate itself as well. Down here are the oddities. I say oddities, all four of these are a little unusual, but they let us do things, historic things often, like count some products that were clearly for Clevertouch but weren't in the Clevertouch category towards a target or towards a rebate or both. You can maintain the lists of what counts as a V series and what counts as a extra Clevertouch product through these two links, or it's on the menu, which I'll show at the end. Generally speaking, none of these four options are ticked much anymore. Next section is a bit more straightforward. It's simply talking about which users, when they're logged into Clevertouch Tools, can actually see the target. Generally, it's hidden from most members of staff. Obviously, in this case, we've got only Anthony, Kev, and Stafford who can see this target. This bottom option you will almost never need, but AVMI was split into two companies at one point, but we wanted to be able to combine the spend of both companies towards one target. So this was set up specifically to let us say, count all the spend on one other target towards this target and vice versa. I don't imagine that will be used again. Obviously here you can save any changes you've made or delete the target completely. Just going to cancel, go back to the target manager. Just take a second. The only other thing I wanted to show you was that you've got the ability to edit what counts as a V-Series product, and the other option is extra Clevertouch products, which, what does it say? This list is used exclusively by the target manager to allow rebates that are all Clevertouch products to include items like Clevertouch mobile trolley, which isn't actually in the Clevertouch category on SAP, but should be included in the calculations. And this is just an arbitrary list of things that count as Clevertouch products. And those are, as I said before, those are both maintained through these two options here. Okay, hope that was helpful. Thanks, bye.